In the late 1990s, the city of Lahore, Pakistan, was gripped by a chilling mystery. Dozens of children, mostly runaway boys from the city's poorest neighborhoods, were vanishing without a trace. The police were overwhelmed, parents were frantic, and a sense of fear permeated the streets. For months, there were no leads, no suspects, no answers. The city was holding its breath, waiting for a breakthrough that seemed like it would never come. Then, in December 1999, a letter arrived at the office of a major newspaper. It was a confession, detailed and horrifying, that would unravel the entire case and expose a truth far more disturbing than anyone could have imagined. The author of the letter was a man named Javed Iqbal, and what he had to say would forever scar the conscience of a nation. Javed Iqbal was born in 1956 into a middle-class family. By all accounts, his early life was unremarkable. He was the sixth of 8 children, and his father was a businessman. Iqbal eventually started his own small businesses, living a seemingly ordinary life in a multi-story house in Lahore. But beneath this veneer of normality, a dark and resentful personality was festering. His confession letter was a meticulously crafted document of his crimes. In it, he claimed responsibility for the abduction and murder of 100 boys. He didn't just confess, he provided excruciating details. He described how he would lure the boys to his home with promises of food or small amounts of money. These were vulnerable children, often living on the streets. Easily tempted by a seemingly kind offer, once they were inside his home, the horror began. According to his own account, he would strangle them and then, in a macabre and systematic process, dismember their bodies. He used vats of acid to dissolve their remains, a method he claimed to have chosen specifically to ensure that the parents would never have a body to bury, denying them even that final closure. He wanted to inflict the same pain and anguish that he felt he had endured. But what could possibly motivate such monstrous acts? In his letter, Iqbal tried to explain his twisted reasoning. He claimed it was an act of revenge against the Lahore police. He alleged that years earlier, he had been wrongfully arrested on a charge and had been mistreated while in custody. He felt that his mother had been disrespected by the police during this ordeal, and this perceived injustice ignited a burning desire for vengeance. He decided to target 100 children, one for every supposed wrong he felt had been committed against him and his mother. He wanted to make the authorities look incompetent, to humiliate them on a grand scale by committing a crime so vast and so horrific that it would overwhelm them completely. Along with his confession, Iqbal provided the ultimate proof. He directed the police to his house. Inside, they found a chilling scene. There were 2 large vats containing the dissolving remains of his last 2 victims. Strewn around the house were the clothes and shoes of dozens of other children. He had kept photo albums, meticulously documenting his victims. Pictures of smiling, innocent boys now forever lost. On the walls and in a diary, he had written the names and ages of all 100 boys he claimed to have killed. The evidence was overwhelming and sickening. The man who had terrorized Lahore for months had finally revealed himself. The confession sparked a nationwide manhunt. Iqbal was now the most wanted man in Pakistan. His face was plastered across every newspaper and television screen. A massive reward was offered for his capture. For about a month, he remained at large, a ghost who had surfaced, only to disappear again, leaving a trail of terror in his wake. The public was in an uproar, demanding justice and questioning how such a thing could have happened. Finally, at the end of December 1999, Javed Iqbal walked into the offices of the same newspaper he had sent his confession to, and surrendered. He seemed calm, almost proud of what he had done. His capture brought a sense of relief, but it also marked the beginning of a legal process that would be just as sensational as his crimes. The trial of Javed Iqbal was a media circus. He showed no remorse for his actions. In fact, he often seemed to relish the attention. At one point, he retracted his confession, claiming he had made it all up to bring attention to the plight of runaway children. But the evidence against him was irrefutable. The items found in his home, the diary, the photographs had all pointed to his guilt. The court found him guilty. The sentence handed down was as unusual as the crime itself. The judge, seeking to deliver a punishment that mirrored the crime, sentenced Iqbal to be publicly executed in the same manner. He had killed his victims. He was to be strangled, dismembered into 100 pieces, and dissolved in acid. This sentence, while reflecting the public's outrage, was highly controversial and was never carried out, as such a punishment is not permissible under Pakistani law. The final chapter of Javed Iqbal's life was written not by an executioner, but by his own hand. In October 2001, while awaiting his appeal, Iqbal and a fellow inmate were found dead in their jail cell. The official cause of death was suicide. He had taken his own life, escaping the justice that society had planned for him. The Javed Iqbal case left an indelible mark on Pakistan. It exposed deep-seated issues regarding child protection, the vulnerability of street children, and the failings of law enforcement to protect the most helpless members of society. It forced a national conversation about how to prevent such a tragedy from ever happening again. For the families of the victims, the end of Iqbal's life brought no real closure. Their children were gone forever, their lives cut short by a man consumed by a twisted and horrifying quest for revenge. The story of Javed Iqbal serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can exist beneath the surface of an ordinary life and the devastating impact of a single, vengeful mind. It's a story of profound loss and a wake-up call that continues to echo years later. Thank you for watching this exploration of a truly difficult and important case. If you found this video informative, please consider liking and subscribing for more deep dives into historical events. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.